Alright, so we have a low Plat Zarya here, who is looking for help on their positioning, bubble usage, really the foundations of Zarya there.
Sorry, no personal.
Okay. So like my first question right here is if you're really looking for help with your bubbles, we can go very in depth on them. And so right here, when you round this corner,
Sorry, no
what do we see up there? Torb, turret, and Ryan? Because that's all I can see right now. And so that means in theory, there is not very much potential damage that can come towards our Ryan. And so you bubble your Ryan as soon as he rounds this corner to try and get some charge. I would have rather you waited to see the fire strike or to see Torb shooting, because instead you only got a very small amount of charge just off of the turret. Nothing else fired at him at all. And that's because they know that you're going to bubble the second you round the corner. Where instead, if you would have waited until someone started shooting him, if you would have stood and you did the same thing with your bubble, no one was shooting you besides the turret. So if you would have waited till someone was actually shooting, till you saw those Zarya right clicks in the air, till you saw the fire strike in the air, until you saw, McCree, you could have had a lot better time. Same with that Lucio bubble there. You saw that he was in danger, and so you bubbled him. There was really no other thought process, like is anything going to hit him or not? That's not the worst thing on the planet, but it's a better thing to do when you're high charge. When you're low charge and you're still worried about getting charge, that's a little bit scary for me to see. So even though you're full charge here, you should be stepping in front of your Ryan to kind of act like his tank here. Because believe it or not, Ryans do need a tank of their own when they're getting melted. And this would be an excellent time for you to do that. So he's super low. You can see his shield starting to get the cracks. And you have your personal. And so literally just step in front of him. Again, kind of same exact thing. You bubbled yourself just because there was enemies. He's out of your range. She's bubbling and not shooting you. Torb is, you can even see it through the outline, looking up. Not gaining too much when we use our bubbles like that. And again, you just bubbled Ryan because he was going in. You gotta look for something that's actually going to hit him, or actually know that he's in danger. He could have very clearly used your bubble 2 seconds after you used it.
I can grab him. Like my friend.
Okay, so right there, not a bad call when you said like you could grab soon, and it ended up working pretty well. The only thing I would have said is I would have wanted to make sure that my team was in a little bit better position to follow up. The only person who could really follow up on that was your Ryan, but it ended alright.
They got one last week to test. They've got right there.
So he's making the right call. I also agree that they have Shatter. I think that they have their Grav too, unless I just missed it, or I'm not thinking. And so I don't like seeing at all that you're bubbling your Ryan right here. Because I would like to bubble him when I believe that the Shatter is coming. And then we used our bubble too, so now if I'm Ryan, I see there's a free Shatter. My Brig is soloing the enemy Ryan over here. Zarya has no bubbles because she's throwing. And so now I have a very easy Shatter on the entire team. So you're probably going to die here either way, right? There's like 6 people in front of you shooting you. It actually looks like now you're going to live because your Ryan's coming back. Let's try our best not to charge the Zarya, the enemy Zarya, if we believe that we're going to die.
Step forward, right? Nice block. Almost on grab. You got that, you got that.
Okay, so a couple things. One, so you kind of are communicating, so that's nice. But if you're comfortable communicating and you're communicating already and stuff, let's look a tiny bit more at how we're communicating. Because we could be adding a lot of useful comms to this, such as like telling our Ryan when we don't have bubble and stuff like that. And instead we're saying stuff like nice block, which is cool, totally cool. I say stuff like that in my games, but that's not the comms that are going to help you climb. So you and your Ryan threw that. You probably think that you did something great, but you threw that. You think probably, oh, I got a nice grab, we're going to swing into it, we're going to kill everyone, but you left your entire team to get shattered. And either of you could have blocked the shatter with your cooldowns, your bubbles, his shield, but you guys both rotated around right, which doesn't even totally make sense. Like, your whole team here, and the res gets canceled, everything. That was terrible of you and your Ryan. You would have been better to grab and then just stand in front of the grab hard shielding. You guys would have had a better time. And that is a lot on your Ryan, but that is a lot on you as well.
Are they running die? Yeah, they are.
There's Zarya there.
So when they're running dive, which we believe that they are, we haven't hit tab, even though we could have by now, so we don't know exactly. But when they're running dive, do you need to bubble your Ryan or do you need to bubble your supports? Because the answer is supports. You need to bubble them when they get dived. Dove. But you need to save your bubble for your supports, not for your Ryan, because no dive should really be killing your Ryan. To dive a Ryan as a Winston is A, suicide, B, really difficult. But you see how he's kind of going on your Widow, going on your Moira? Those would be great targets for you to bubble.
Can you charge in, right? Can you charge in? I got you, I got you.
Back up.
Okay, back up, back up.
They're chasing.
Yikes. We're in the middle of a huge fight and we're reloading at 42 ammo. Right before then we were right clicking before the fight and we reloaded at 25 ammo. I wasn't looking at that the entire game, and I pray that's not what was happening the entire game, because that would explain some of the lack of damage that our team has had.
Sorry, Anna, couldn't save you there. They're looking for a Nano Blade to win this, so I'll save my grab for that.
Nice, yeah. I like that you're thinking ahead to your enemy's ults, and that you're thinking about what you're going to do to stop them. I would like to hear you also mention the rest. They probably have all 6 ults, so that means they're probably going to Nano Blade. They could Nano the Monkey onto your supports, no one's going to stop them. They probably have a Grav, so how are you guys going to stop that? They probably have Primal. Are they going to take out your supports using that? Like, I would really like to see you think about that. There's Grav. Nano. Tran. and played. Both teams had 6 ults, but their team actually probably talked and coordinated how to use those 6 ults, and that's literally the reason that they won at the end there. So definitely some stuff to work on for you, especially around your bubble usage. I think that is the most foundational thing of Zarya. I think that you can easily hit Diamond Master by just being great at your bubbles. You could be horrible at everything else. Let's make sure we're not reloading mid-fight. Let's make sure that we're staying by our Ryan, enabling our Ryan by shielding him. Let's make sure that we're shielding our team, especially in moments where they could get like shattered, and you'll start having a lot better time already. But a lot of that I just mentioned literally starts with your bubble usage. Enabling your Ryan, that's your bubble usage. Staying by your team or bubbling the correct target, that's your bubble usage. There's a lot of stuff that can be fixed just off your bubbles, and so that's what I would want you to focus on first and foremost.